What do you want to cook?
Meet Mac Burns, man in charge of many of Astoria's most iconic landmarks, from the 100-year-old Astoria Column
Come on in.
to the secret cells of the Heritage Museum.
So everybody gets to take their mug shot. Tell everybody you got arrested while you're here in town. Jail cell number 2.
Yeah?
This is where the Fratellis were. This is where they kept him and where he busted out of. Right there. You schmuck.
You know, I brought a little contraband.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What do you want to cook?
I want to learn how to make scones. For 23 years now, I've been with the Clatsop County Historical Society and Flavel House. We do tea and scones for Mother's Day. We've done them for cruise ships. And I have never been able to help make the scones.
Well, let's learn ya. Holy cow. So this is the original on location for the opening scene.
Of the Goonies. It was used in a movie Dennis Quaid called Come See the Paradise.
Okay.
Pretty good flick about Japanese World War II internment camps. Apparently I'm the only one that ever saw it, but good movie. It was also used, a still photo of the front of the building was used in either the second or third episode of the first season of 21 Jump Street. Holly Robinson says, book him, take him downtown. All of a sudden there's a picture of our jail.
Historically, what's the importance of filmmaking in Astoria and in Oregon?
Oh my gosh, it's huge. You know, Astoria has the very first film that was ever filmed, commercial film in the state of Oregon with a narrative, a story.
Okay.
There were some documentaries made, but it was a Selig Polyscope company, and Colonel Selig's the guy that created Hollywood in 1909. He sends a group up here to film called The Fisherman's Bride. Oregon has been this just filming haven for years. Action. Some people call it North Hollywood, but we've been a great state for filming. We've got great incentives from the Oregon Governor's Commission on Film and Television. We can be anything you want. We can be the ocean. We can be the high desert. We can be mountains. So, we're a great place to film. And of course, Astoria, we own the 80s with Free Willy, Kindergarten Cop, Short Circuit, the Goonies. The list is pretty iconic.
Yeah.
For filmmakers, and this is what the Film Commission told me 15 years ago when we started this thing, they said Astoria just has this amazing reputation with filmmakers that we will do anything to be on film. We love being on film. We'll close our main street and we'll inconvenience ourselves. Or you want an antique car? 50 are going to show up. You need 20 extras and 500 people will show up.
People love it. Astoria loves Hollywood.
We love being on film.
Where are we going next?
You tell me. I got multiple locations here. The Clatsop County Historical Society. We operate the Oregon Film Museum right here. We operate the Heritage Museum, the Flavel House, the Uppertown Firefighters Museum, and then the last 2 years we've had this working partnership with the Friends of Astoria Column.
How about for a function of efficiency? Let's head up to the column.
All right, let's go. Well, that means we're going to be curving.
Oh yeah. To see the full scale of Mac's domain, you have to leave the downtown streets behind. We're winding our way up to Astoria's highest point. For a century, this 125-foot monument has told the story of the Pacific Northwest in a massive spiral of art. It's the column's 100th birthday, and there's only one way to celebrate: climbing to the top. This is a big year this year.
It is. This is the 100th anniversary, July 22nd, 1926. So it's 100 years old. It doesn't look a day over 80, does it?
Pretty fresh-faced.
We did a major restoration about 15 years ago, the Friends of Astoria Column. Amazing job. Before that, I don't know if you remember, but it was all kind of dark. You could barely see the medallions. So just a huge work. And of course, the Friends are just the caretakers. We just help take care of this place and facilitate things like that. This actually belongs to the citizens of Astoria. This is actually a public park. So the Friends of Astoria Column just help take care of it and maintain it.
That is
Are we
awesome.
ready to climb? Because I brought gliders.
What are we looking at here?
164 steps to the top.
If it was 165, I don't think I could do it.
That's the point where it breaks for
That's
you?
my breaking point. I can handle 164.
Let's do it. Beach at the top.
So you guys have you had a challenge in January.
January Fitness Challenge. We had to reorder prizes like 3 times. I think we ended up with about 120 people that completed the challenge.
That's yeah, right.
Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty awesome.
And then
My wife did it. She challenged herself. Did it every day of the month.
That's
of
crazy.
January. Yeah.
Police department, 2 of them did it in full uniform.
Yeah.
And then they challenged the Astoria Fire Department, who sent their intern in full gear on January 31st to do all 20.
Barely breaking a sweat, Mac. It'd be that 160.
I can't make it. I can't make it. Let's turn around.
Is that it? We're so close.
Can you beat this view?
Oh man.
Anywhere in the world. 164 steps. We made it.
I feel good.
You feel good?
Yeah. You want to do it again?
Yeah.
Thought I'd have a little. You want a snack?
I always want a snack.
How about a
Oh
blueberry
my
scone?
goodness.
Imagine that.
Scones.
What's the number one thing people do at the column besides climb the 164 steps?
These guys right here. The gliders, you buy them for $1. They're balsa wood, so they're biodegradable.
Yeah.
And they're always $1. They're always going to be $1.
Let's give it a whirl.
Well, I wrote my name on mine. I don't know what you did.
Look, there it goes.
Wow.
No. Keep going that way.
You got an engine in that thing? Remote control or something?
Look at that.
That is crazy.
Pretty cool.
Almost there.
Down the same way you go up.
Yeah. No, you take the elevator down if you want.
There's a zip line. When are you putting the zip line in? Oh yeah, we're
Nah, I'm just kidding.
we got this.
We got it.
Always good.
So
Always
where are we
good.
going now?
Heritage Museum.
Heritage Museum.
Can
My
you show me
favorite.
that? Can you show me the old city jail?
We can do that.
That'd be
the
cool.
drunk tank awaits.
The drunk tank awaits.
Let's go.
There's no sign. This doesn't look like a entrance.
This is not the main entrance to the Heritage Museum. This is the entrance to the old police department that was in the basement of the city hall. This used to be the city hall, but we can go in this way.
Oh.
So this is the dark underbelly of the Heritage Museum. So
That's
down
cool.
here was the police department. I love these like brick entrance there. It was armaments, munitions. Our curator's office is down here, but it was the police department, the chief of police. There were 4 isolation cells. What do you want to cook? You know, is that a scone in your pocket? My favorite line in museum work. We were on the way to the dump, and then we thought of you. Do you want this? And about half the time we do. This is the building I fell in love with that made me move here. And this is our old city hall, and it's so funny because we're standing in what's called the Vice and Virtue exhibit. We once had more saloons and more churches than San Francisco. But this bar behind us, the back bar, was from a place called the Louvre, where the McDonald's is today. The Louvre was an August Erickson place. The back bar is from that, the poker table, the Nickelodeon, the roulette wheel, and then the stained glass windows.
Oh, there's so many things to see, but we got to remember this is also a cooking show. So you want to head over to my place and let's make some scones.
Let's make some scones, man.
All right.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
To learn how I make my scones, and any scone purists out there may agree or disagree. This is how I make my scones. Okay. First thing first, though, is you probably want to roll up your sleeves.
Really?
Because we're getting into it. We're going to get into it. Okay. Okay. Let me give you the rundown. Here is what we need. All right. This is a bowl for dry ingredients. Okay. This is a bowl for wet ingredients.
Wet and dry.
All right. We're going to start with the dry ingredients. And as we go, all right. This one right here, go ahead and take that, pour it in here. That is two cups of all-purpose flour.
Should I taste it?
Yeah, just to make sure. This one right here, that is 1/3 cup of sugar. That's a cane sugar.
I was going to say, what kind of sugar? Because that doesn't look like
That's an
malt
organic cane sugar.
sugar. Okay.
Baking powder. All right, baking powder. Right there, that guy. 1 teaspoon.
That's a teaspoon.
Baking powder. Yep. Teaspoon of salt. I hid it underneath our friend here. There you go. I didn't want the egg
All
rolling
right.
around.
See, this is how uncomfortable I am in a kitchen. I was
didn't
like,
want
that is
egg
the
rolling
weirdest
around.
looking thing I've
You know,
ever
this
seen.
building, everything goes that way.
Everything goes out.
Yeah, it's not going to sit still as a round object like that. All right, now for the wet ingredients. This is 1/2 cup of milk.
Just regular milk.
That is actually, I used oat milk, barista blend, so it's got a higher kind of fat content to it, right?
Now, where do I get that?
I got that at the
Any-
Astoria Co-op.
Okay.
At the Astoria Co-op, you're going to need 1 egg.
Breaking the egg?
Breaking the
You're
egg.
trusting me to break the egg.
Oh, heck yeah. Do it.
Okay. Make me nervous.
Oh, look at that. In here also, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
I could smell that. It smells really nice.
All right. Now, here's the deal. You are going to just whisk the dry ingredients together. So that's whisked together. All right. And here, go ahead and whisk this one up.
All right.
You can use the same
Same
whisk.
line. We
Yep.
don't mind mixing them in. I see more stuff.
There's more stuff. All right. So dry ingredients, check. Wet ingredients, check. Let's just set these aside for a second. All right. Now, we're going to use 4 ounces of unsalted butter. What I did is I froze it. All right. And the reason I froze it, there's a couple ways you can do that. A lot of people will take a pastry cutter and cut the butter into the dough or into the flour, etc. Right.
Okay.
Here is my hack of the day. Freeze the butter and use a grater.
You're great at that.
I think this grater might actually belong in the museum. It's been around a long time. This grater came with a restaurant that we bought back in 2001. I still have it.
When you first got here?
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Okay, so Mac, well done. Nicely grated. Right?
Okay.
So we're going to take and kind of chuck it all in the flour in the dry mix. Just start working it until it kind of crumbling.
It's crumbling.
Yeah, so it's like like crumbling. So we got flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, and cold butter in here. All right.
Good.
We have our oat milk, egg, and vanilla extract in here. Now, here's where we start making the Play-Doh.
Ooh.
Okay, you're going to take that, give it one last little whisk, and go ahead and pour it into the bowl there. Ooh. Now, with the whisk, kind of start to slowly kind of stir it together a little bit. Now you're going to need to get in with your hands and start to do that.
I wonder.
And kind of start to work it a little bit with your hands. It is fun, right?
It's
like
not quite gooey, but
it's Play-Doh that we're going to eat, and it will start to kind of
smells good. Like vanilla.
Try to get all the edges around it. Okay, let's do this. We're going to give it a little scrape. Yeah, and then just try to get all of it combined, all right? We're almost there. Check it out. Now we're going to fold all those in. The blueberries are in. That is 1 cup of fresh blueberries.
So why the blueberries at the end?
So that we don't turn all the dough the color of blueberry. Okay, so when you eat the scone, you get little pops of blueberry. The whole thing is not blueberry. Okay. So the flavor of scone and the flavor of blueberry, and then the combination of the two. I think that, like, you know, a finished product, like in food, should have multiple components, and each component should taste great on its own. And then the combination of the ingredients should taste great together.
So if you were doing something instead of blueberries, other ingredients all stay the same.
Yeah. Let's see.
Would you have altered it for?
Would I have altered it?
Or strawberries or something?
Well, also it depends on if they're fresh or frozen.
Okay.
Okay. My favorite, I like savory scones. I like throwing like a little cheddar cheese and like jalapenos in there. You know, or something like that. I like that kind of a little spicy and a little savory and a hint of sweet. Okay. Scones. I think super nice. Dust the counter, okay, with a little bit of flour. Go ahead and pull that out.
Am I pulling the whole thing out?
The whole thing out on the counter. Okay. And we're going to do like this, okay? Now, you're going to kind of just work it until it's smooth.
It's not going to take much. This is looking super good. Since we're making the little scones, pocket scones, we're going to cut this in half, all right? So that's approximate. Okay, now, we'll do it together. You do one, I'll do one. And do a disc, and then start to kind of flatten it out. Okay? And you can put a little flour in between so that it doesn't stick to the counter. All right? You're going to go about, I don't know, 6-7 inches. Yeah, we're going to go into 8 pieces. You always wondered how they end up to be triangles, right?
Nice.
We're going to space these out.
Do I go opposite?
Yep, and leave a little room. So we're going to have 16, right? So we're going to leave enough room to, they are going to proof up a little bit better than bacon. We're going to put this in the fridge, Mac, for about 15 minutes. Let it chill. Okay. It's going to activate the baking powder.
Okay.
So that when we bake it, they're going to puff right up. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll drop this in the fridge for about 15 minutes. Mac, tell me about the moment in your life you realized or decided what you wanted to do for your career, like what that you were passionate about history.
Pretty well. See, those are two different questions.
Okay, nope.
And
give it to me.
That's the thing that has always stunned me. My vacations as a kid always involved history. Yeah, we'd stop at the roadside marker, historical marker. We went to museums. I always had that appreciation, and I liked, reading history and kind of historical fiction, like Robinson Crusoe and Swiss Family Robinson, Treasure Island. And loved the Old West, Louis L'Amour. In terms of it being a career, never thought about it.
Right.
I went to college for political science, and I was just taking so many history classes that at some point one of those professors said, well, you ought to major in it. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll double major then. But political science was going to be the career. And the reason the history professors at my college and the history social studies teachers at high school never talked about it as a career. The degree in history was good for going on and teaching, which I didn't want to do. My appreciation for teachers is off the charts. I don't know how they do it. They're all heroes without capes. I could never do it. Or you go on to be a lawyer. And I didn't want to do that. So a history degree was useless to me. I didn't understand why there even was such a thing. I'm in the office of one of my professors. I'm kind of crying on his shoulder. And I'm like, what good is this master's degree then if it's all about a PhD? And out of nowhere, he says, well, you want public history. Then the clouds parted, a sunlight beam hit me, and a chorus sang up. I said, what's public history? I had never heard of it before. And the guy said, well, it's museums, it's archives, it's corporate historians, it's the National Park Service. I said, well, where do I go for that? And he gave me the name of a couple of schools that he knew that had that program, and I applied to both that afternoon, and I transferred the next semester. I mean, if you just stop and think, somebody has to be running these museums. Yeah. But I never even thought about the behind the scenes of who's doing that. And I had a year-long internship at a living history museum, and I knew right then, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to work in a museum.
Mac, it's been about 15 minutes. All right, next phase.
We got our
We've
chilled
scones. All right. Okay, now, in this little squirt bottle right here, is a little more of the oat milk.
Okay.
Right? So if you take it like that, through your finger, you could use a pastry brush.
Okay.
But I couldn't find it.
Then why do we do this?
We're going to do this before we bake it. 2 reasons. It's going to help maintain the moisture and texture on the top of the scone. But also, we're going to sprinkle this with a little bit more sugar before we throw it in the oven. It's going to help it stick to it. So like this, just a little bit of your finger there. It doesn't have to be perfect, all right?
Okay.
And just try not to too much. Okay? There you go. This is more of the cane sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just do this little bit of cream with my finger. Okay? It's all right to play with your food, Mac. This oven is on 375 degrees. Okay. We're going to bake it for 8 minutes.
Then we're gonna spin it around and bake it for 4 more minutes. All right, here we go. Now, tell me about the goals to build a brand new organ film.
Yeah, so we realized a number of years ago the attendance numbers just kept going up and up and up. And last year, in 2025, we had over 57,000 visitors through an 800 square foot building.
That's so amazing.
First and foremost, we're an educational organization.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to knock what we do now. It's great. You come in there, you learn about the Goonies, you learn about filmmaking. There is behind the scenes. If you look at everything, text panels, the touch screens, there's a fun filmmaker experience where you get to make movies and you learn a lot doing that. But there's so much of the art and legacy of filmmaking that we're not doing. And it's not accessible because it's a 1914 jail.
Sure.
Stairs and narrow doorways. And we have this plan. We're trying to raise about $10 million. We've got property right across the street. And we need to do a better job fulfilling our educational mission. There's all kinds of stories we're not telling. Animation is a hotbed in Oregon.
Yeah.
We've been on the cutting edge since Will Vinton and the Dancing Raisins. And then that led to Laika, and that led to Shadow Machine. And just Guillermo del Toro won an Oscar,
Right.
for Pinocchio. And these jobs are here. They're in Oregon, and people are still making movies here. And we need to tell that story. And then who all these people are. Gaffers, best boys, key grips, all these people. And that this is not just an industry that's you and me in front of a camera. There's a person behind the camera. There's set designers. There's people that make costumes. There's carpenters. This rich industry that is right here in Oregon. And we've got this idea. We actually already have a very nice endowment gift towards endowing an artist in residence program. And you've been involved. You've done catering for some of the films that have been here. And these people love talking about
Yeah,
what
you
they
haven't
do.
even mentioned catering and craft services yet.
Exactly. So, what goes into that? That you can't do, that you have to go out in the middle of the woods and make somebody a meal and feed this whole crew.
You got to see some of those spots. It's impressive. You want us to what?
Where? And what time? At midnight? You want us still feeding you?
You want lunch at 1 a.m. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, we can do that.
And, there's all these kids that I like sewing. I didn't know I could maybe get a job. And there's all these people in the industry that love talking about the industry. And we picture bringing these artists in residence like a week in Astoria. We'll put you up and we'll get as many classes through as possible. So maybe one day you come in and you see 10 sewing machines and these kids are making costumes. Or a month later, maybe you come in and they're painting the side of one of the walls in the building.
Right.
And we're going to teach those things, have these professionals teach them. 20 years from now, some kid is going to be on the stage winning an Oscar for best costume design or best set design. And they're going to have that statue, and they're going to say it all began on Mrs. Johnson's 4th grade trip to that Oregon Film Museum where I met this person talking about the film industry.
Those smell amazing.
Oh, man. Oh, look at that.
That is nice.
So we're going to let this cool down. We probably should let it cool down a little bit. Can we go? I think it would be rad if we could eat scones and drink tea.
We
got to do it like that, though. At the Flavel House. Can we do that?
Of course.
Is that a thing we can do?
That's the place to do it.
They taste 10 times better there, somehow, some way. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I think it's the nostalgia. No, not a historic recipe from the archives.
Thank goodness.
I just dug up something that I figured should work. And that's what we made today.
All right. Excellent.
And now, you know how to make these.
Oh. The Flavel House. Give me some history. I think a lot of people this is their iconic image of the Historical Society. It's what they think about. Give me a little history of this house.
This is the retirement home of Captain George Flavel, built in 1885-86. It's the largest house in town, tallest house in town. It's the only house that has a full city block. But the captain and his wife Mary and his 2 daughters Nellie and Katie moved in, and this is what Victorian life was like, if you could afford this.
Yeah.
And one by one they passed away. When the last daughter Nellie passed away in 1933, she left the house to the captain's oldest great-granddaughter. Patricia was a 20-year-old college kid on the East Coast, had no desire to live in a house this big or in Astoria, Oregon. So she actually donates it. And the county takes it. They move the Red Cross and the health department in. And that's fantastic till about 1948. And then they decide they need to bulldoze it and build a parking lot for the courthouse. And that's when the Historical Society said, hold on a minute, this could be a great museum. So we actually opened to the public in '52, and originally this was our museum. So if you'd come in, maybe this room was about Lewis and Clark, and the captain's bedroom was about John Jacob Astor and the fur trade. Yeah. And it wasn't until the 1980s when we acquired the old City Hall, the Heritage Museum, that we said, let's take this back to the way it looked when the Flavel family lived here. And we've been really fortunate that it's a really well-documented family. So there's a lot of original items, furniture, the stories, and the way that we operate now. There's a wonderful 13-minute movie up at the carriage house where you start your tour. And if you even just read a third of our placards throughout the house or ask a few questions of the docent, you leave here feeling like you kind of know who the Flavels are. Yeah. And that's success. When you're talking about a historic house museum, there's so many out there that you just enjoy the wonderful architecture, but you don't really get who lived there, or the house changed hands so many times that what's original, what's not. And here we had the Flavels, the county, and us. Yeah. So you've got this continuity that is just kind of rare for a historic house museum.
I noticed how beautiful the grounds are.
The grounds are amazing. And this is a transformation that has just happened in the last 5 years. And this experience, when you visit the house, it's not just the house. And that's one of the reasons I said the carriage house and watch the movie, but it's the grounds. And there's this group of volunteers that formed because the founder was walking her dog on the grounds of, she probably won't like me shouting out, but you know her. It's your mom. She was walking the grounds.
My mother.
Pam was walking the grounds with her dog, and she called me so polite. And she said, I don't want to step on toes, but I'm a master gardener, and I noticed your grounds aren't really being cared for. Who's caring for them? And I said, nobody. And she said, well, would you mind if I tried to get some volunteers together? I said, mind. Boom, my head just exploded. And this group, the Flavel House Garden Society, and they have transformed these grounds. And 35,000 visitors a year come here, and because you start your tour at the carriage house and you come here, they all go through the grounds. Yeah. The 57,000 people that go to the film museum across the street also come through these grounds. So it's 90,000 people that we know of. And then there's tons of kids that take their prom pictures on the grounds here, or their
graduation every year.
Yeah. And
graduating seniors.
These grounds are beautiful. They're open. We don't close the grounds. And it's just been an amazing transformation, all because of a small group of dedicated volunteers. Okay.
That's all right.
I could make scones.
You can make scones. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Pinkies up.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for spending the day showing us the history of Astoria, talking about the future of what can be while respecting the past. The tour was amazing. Thanks for spending time in the kitchen. I know you're a busy guy. You got a lot going on. So, and folks, thank you for joining us on this episode of What Do You Want to Cook? And we look forward to seeing you next time.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
So good.